The story continues with Rishia practicing with her sword in Lorelona village. She remembers the time when she was kicked out of the bow hero's party. Itsuki, the bow hero, suspected her of breaking his bracelet, and his party members confirmed it. They said Rishia broke the bracelet, and with no remorse, Itsuki asked her to leave the party. Rishia asked Itsuki to believe her, but he said she's weak and would be a burden, casting her aside. Rishia decides to prove Itsuki wrong and continues her training. Elrasla notices Rishia's distraction and joins her in training. Meanwhile, Naofumi surveys his broken house, wondering how to fix it. Malty mentions they have a lot of expenses, and Philo and Galeon fight over carrying Naofumi. Naofumi intervenes, putting Galeon under house arrest. Windia asks Naofumi not to bully Galeon, and Naofumi explains it's a serious punishment. Philo is happy to hear the curses on her are removed, and Naofumi instructs her to level up. He mentions Philo has to level up with Malty, but Malty says she's busy. Philo insists Malty wanted to level up together, leading to an argument. Naofumi receives a message from the Queen's shadow, gathering everyone. He informs them that Malty is going on a journey with Philo, surprising Malty, who asks Naofumi for clarification. Naofumi asks Eclair to inform the townspeople about Malty's journey. Malty tells Naofumi not to decide things on his own. Naofumi says he got permission from the shadows, mentioning Malty's high magic abilities, but low level for someone meant to rule a country. Malty says she doesn't have to leave right away. Naofumi asks Philo to take Malty, and Philo takes her along with Rat. Sedna realizes Naofumi did this because Malty needed a break. Naofumi pretends otherwise and sends everyone to their tasks. He orders Eclair to handle lordly duties in Malty's absence, saying she's relied on Malty too much. Rin offers to help the Eclair. Sedna senses something but dismisses it when asked. Cyan arrives, hungry, and Naofumi suggests it's time for a meal. After lunch, Naofumi asks Cyan where she's been. Sedna wonders if she was in the underground Colosseum. Cyan confirms and gives Naofumi half of her earnings. Naofumi is happy for the money, while Sedna says that she is impressed by Cyan with the amount of money she made. Cyan mentions that a bowman named Perfect High Justice made more money. Naofumi and Rin find the name Kringy and think it might be Itsuki. Naofumi says that it's worth checking. He'll then tell him that he wants to go to the Colosseum to get stronger. Naofumi considers, and Elrasla asks him to take Rishia to fight different opponents. The scene changes to them being at the Colosseum, and Keel is surprised they're going to fight there. Raftalia wonders why Fall isn't with them, and Naofumi says Fall feels weak, so he's training with Elrasla. Rishia looks around for Itsuki in the Colosseum, and the slave trader approaches Naofumi and the others. He wonders if the kids will participate in the battles today, and the kids feel uneasy seeing the slave trader. Naofumi asks Sedna to handle their matches and tells the kids to be careful while fighting. Sedna leaves, and the slave trader wonders if Naofumi wants to ask him something. Naofumi asks about Perfect High Justice. Meanwhile, Rishia sees Itsuki in the Colosseum and goes after him. Naofumi and the others follow her, noticing Itsuki entering a guarded room. The slave trader asks if Itsuki is the player they're looking for, and Naofumi confirms. He wonders if they can talk to Itsuki before the match starts. The slave trader agrees under his authority and asks the guards to open the way. Rishia tries to talk to Itsuki, but he keeps saying random things to himself. He attempts to go to his match, pushing Rishia aside, but Naofumi stops him. Itsuki says he's heard about Naofumi's actions with Princess Malty, and Rin questions if Itsuki was with her earlier. Itsuki claims it's none of their business, and Rin warns him to stay away from her as everything she says is a convenient lie. Itsuki wonders how Rin knows this, and Rin says he just does. He mentions that Bitch probably told Itsuki he is the righteous one who can save the world, but those are lies. Itsuki doesn't believe Rin, leaves, and says the match is about to start. The slave trader mentions seeing Perfect High Justice around the Colosseum after the Shield hero's departure. Ren asks Naofumi what he'll do now that they found Itsuki. Naofumi thinks talking may not work, and Atlas suggests settling it with a fight. Raftalia warns against casually suggesting dangerous things, and Naofumi says he'd prefer a peaceful resolution. Ren notes they need to act quickly as Bitch is working behind the scenes. Before his match, Itsuki tries to convince himself that he's not being lied to. He recalls that after the Spirit Turtle defeat, his party insulted and left him. Malty convinced him they were wrong, and they rejoined him. Itsuki believes everyone wants him, so he fights for them. Ren faces his opponent in the Colosseum. Naofumi notices Ren hasn't strengthened his legendary weapon yet, feeling something is off. Rin gets injured while fighting but finally defeats his opponent. Rishia worries about his condition and asks Naofumi to let her fight Itsuki. She wants to talk to him, repay her gratitude for saving her. Rishia explains she couldn't help him in their previous party, always doing chores as she wasn't strong enough. She was just a burden to him, but after spending time with Naofumi and others, she saw how they helped each other. With her current power, she thinks she can help Itsuki. Naofumi understands Rishia's feelings, but he thinks she can't have a serious conversation with Itsuki in his current state. Rishia insists on fighting him, believing she can help him in a one-on-one battle. The slave trader says he has a plan to help with this. The scene shifts to Itsuki giving his earnings to Bitch and his party members. Bitch says it's not enough to save all the slaves. Ren reassures her, saying he can save them all as long as she's with him. Ren informs everyone that Naofumi is here, surprising them. Ren claims Naofumi has slaves like Bitch said, but Naofumi tells him it's a deception. Ren vows to prove Naofumi wrong by making money and freeing the slaves. Later, Bitch talks to someone in an abandoned street. The man says they can't sell Itsuki into slavery now that Naofumi is here. He mentions they've made enough profit from Itsuki's fight money. Bitch says she'll squeeze every penny out of him and teaches him about the world as a grown-up's job. The scene then shifts to Itsuki winning another match in the Colosseum. After the fight, he receives a letter from somebody. Meanwhile, the slave trader reveals he sent a letter to Itsuki through one of his men. Tonight, he plans to lure Itsuki into the underground arena where the ritual magic sanctuary is cast, preventing him from using teleport skills. Naofumi wonders if the slave trader hopes for a reward from the queen by capturing the bow hero, or make profit selling the ticket. The slave trader admits that Naofumi always sees through him, but denies selling tickets to this match. The slave trader then gets the news that the bow hero has arrived, and Naofumi warns Rishia to be careful, considering the possibility that Itsuki might be affected by the curse series. But he assures her they'll support her if things get tough and tells Rishia to give it her all. Rishia and Itsuki enter the arena, and Itsuki is surprised to see Rishia as his opponent. Rishia mentions Itsuki saved her before, and now she wants to save him. This brings an end to our episode. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.